Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Zurvivalist. I'm your host, Matt Jarbo, here today with another Matt. Matthew, you are from Chicago, right?
Yep.
Awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well, actually. It's my birthday. I'm enjoying the day.
That's awesome. Happy birthday. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here on the show. I'm sure you probably want to be drunk or with family.
Working on the first part and on my way to the second part.
Awesome. So you are calling in from a very peculiar location right now.
Yes, I'm actually on a bus.
You're on a bus. And would this be your primary mode of transportation if a zombie outbreak happened?
I sure hope not. If I'm riding a bus when a zombie outbreak happens, I'm going to have some problems. Unless, of course, I manage to escape the bus before anybody on the bus is infected. So, I think if there were a zombie outbreak that were to take place and I was sitting on a bus, I'd have some problems. We're dealing with close quarters, ill preparation. I'd be in some trouble in a bus.
Okay, so you were telling me beforehand that you have a Facebook page called A Zombie Diary.
Yes.
So, do you care to just give us a little bit of a tidbit of what that is?
Well, the background of it is it's a character who is living in a post-zombie apocalyptic type of setting. It's the zombie outbreak has occurred. It's been some time. The individual who the zombie diary is largely revolving around, the zombie diarist, if you will, he lives in isolation, though he does have some regular trading partners who he exchanges goods and he basically produces a very high demand product which individuals travel many miles to get from him. And so that's one of the basic premises, is that he's living in isolation many years after a zombie outbreak, and just how he deals with it.
Nice. Well, we'll have a link for that on the show notes so people can check it out. So let's say, okay, for a second here, let's get on with the interview because I can totally segue in. So your character on your Facebook page is based years in the zombie apocalypse in the future. What would he or you do if the zombies happened right now?
Well, let's go with what I'd do, I suppose. One of the first things I'd need to do is to identify my weapon. My weapon of choice in the event of a zombie apocalypse is, of course, the katana, the classic samurai sword.
Now,
I don't feel there's any better weapon for that event.
Let me ask you this, because you mentioned katana, it's been brought up on the show before. Are you adept at maintaining the weapon? Can you sharpen it? Are you proficient in using it?
I would not say that I am. I wouldn't say that I have any experience maintaining it, though. I don't imagine finding myself a whetstone and sharpening a blade would be nearly the challenge of unjamming a gun. So I think even for an unskilled user, I don't think a katana would present nearly the challenge that somebody else, that some other weapons that people often idealize for the purpose of zombie survival would present. I think a katana would present a much lesser issue in terms of maintenance. And even, in fact, just initial use. I mean, honestly, a katana swings not unlike a baseball bat. It's a weapon designed to be well balanced. And I don't imagine it would be an issue coming up to speed. And especially when I'm fighting other unarmed and unskilled opponents.
Well. So you're saying that would be, I see your reasoning of wanting to use it, but wouldn't you think like a baseball bat would be a more proficient weapon? Because
the issue with a baseball bat is that a baseball bat doesn't dismember. It doesn't take off limbs. It doesn't take off It's not a weapon designed with the intention of fighting multiple opponents at a single time like a katana is. A katana, the entire intention of a katana is a individual being able to fight multiple opponents, which you would certainly find yourself in that situation in a zombie apocalypse.
Okay. So let's say, so you're in that situation, you're at your house or your apartment. Would you stay put there? Would you try to forage, go out for supplies? Like, what would you generally do if the word came out on the radio, oh my God, the dead have risen? How would you handle that?
Well, if the word came out on the radio, we're still early enough in it that I think that, being as I don't currently own a katana, I certainly can't sit put and wait for things to progress. I need to get on it now. I need to be on the move before the zombie outbreak progresses along too far, and I'm not able to maneuver without a weapon. I need to find that weapon first. If I wait too long, then the numbers will be overwhelming. You're not then dealing with the sporadic zombie or two here and there, or isolated large mobs. You're dealing with the complete breakdown of society.
Sure.
You're not going to find a means of getting from here to there, and most of the katanas will probably already be taken if there's other like-minded individuals out there.
Well, would you stay in the city or would you venture out?
I would probably look for the katana in the city. You start to get too far out of the city, you're probably not going to find a whole lot of katanas unless you happen to know somebody who owns one. Within the city, you're going to have a much higher likelihood of finding some form of store or retail outlet where you may be able to acquire one and move on from there. Certainly, I would not be in any long-term interest in staying within a city. I would find what I need. I actually have my family has a lake house on an island just outside of Chicago. I wouldn't say just outside; it's actually about 40 minutes outside of Chicago. But on an island, it's not a deep lake, maybe 4 to 5 feet at the deepest in terms of traversing from the shore to the island.
Sure.
Certainly, no zombies would find difficulty getting to the island. But then they have the island seawall to overcome. They have to climb the seawall. My family would certainly all be convening there, and I would say 5 to 10 people could easily hold off a very large horde of zombies, even if we had to deal with makeshift weaponry as opposed to katanas or guns.
Well, okay, so let's say you make it out of the city. You go to this, the cabin on the island, which seems like a pretty solid location. Now, how would you handle the food situation? Do you have, are there already reserves there? Does the lake have fish? Are you able to fish and hunt? How would you survive, with food?
I was raised fishing. I lost interest due to, whatever reason when I was younger. My father's certainly a fisherman. There's definitely fishing poles out there. The island, honestly, the island's pretty well suited to some survival anyway. There have been instances where some of the abandoned cottages on the island actually, there was one year somebody had found a gutted and eaten deer in one of the residences, which apparently a homeless person had managed to kill themselves a deer, and they used somebody's island home to butcher it in, and
wow.
So there's definitely some level of food outside of just having reserves that could potentially be available. Reserves are during the winter certainly less. During the year when my family is out there regularly, we don't like to have to travel back and forth a lot, so we try to keep a pretty good supply of non-perishable food stuff at the house.
Okay.
But as far as more perishable items, those will not generally be maintained in any level there because we're only up there for the weekend and so forth. So
we're running low on time, so I just have 2 more questions for you. One,
certainly.
if the crazy hobo who killed, gutted, and ate the deer was there, would you bring him in the cabin to help you fight off the zombie?
Well, I'd have to assess that situation first. If he was too crazy, certainly he's as much of a threat as the zombies. If he's just crazy enough to be willing to eat a deer as, a homeless, that sounds like a pretty good skill to have in the camp. So the issue I face with that is that I'll probably have a large enough number of individuals I need to maintain as it is. So most likely we have to find some way of turning him away.
Sure. And then I guess, the last question I always ask on the show, and I'm sure you know it's coming, is if you were bit, what would you do?
Well, I'd make sure my family knew to kill me if I was not already on my way out on some form of suicide mission on my own. I would certainly, if I was bitten, I would imagine we were in the midst of some form of attack or something as it is, and so I would certainly do my best to draw as many of the zombies as I could away from, my family and relatives and friends. Before turning myself. I don't think I would bother to go through the effort of killing myself or something of that nature, but certainly I would do my best to minimize the risk to my friends and relatives and try to actively take advantage of the fact that, hey, I'm effectively dead as it is.
Yeah.
Let's do what we can to preserve those who are not in jeopardy.
Sure. Well, that's all the time we have for the show. Matthew, thank you very much for being here. Happy birthday again.
Oh, it was great. I look forward to listening to this and passing it on to my friends and family.
Awesome. For everyone listening at home, you guys can find Matthew's Zombie Diary on Facebook. Just type it in, Zombie Diary. It comes right up. And you guys can find us at Zurvivalist.com, kzomradio.com, twitter.com/kzomradio, facebook.com/kzomradio. We're all over the net, KZOM everywhere it is. Thank you very much, everyone. See you guys next week on the show.